You ready to make your mark? Just a few weeks away till the local government election. That's when we're all going to cast our votes for our representatives. So have you been paying attention? Do you even care about the local government elections? Well, leaders of various political parties are wanting you to care. They were crisscrossing the country to try and woo you, the voters. For analysis on some of the election campaigns so far, political analyst Naledi Modise joining us. Hello to you, Naledi. I'm sure a very busy weekend for you, as it was for all of us. Following the elections, I thought this was really ironic. We had the IFP in Gauteng, we had the ANC down in KZN. It almost seems they're playing in each other's sandboxes at the moment.
Good morning, Gareth. Yes, and I think that it's very interesting that the IFP has chosen to launch a campaign in Gauteng. And I think it speaks to how emboldened smaller parties are with regards to just knowing that the ANC has really underperformed in a lot of the municipalities across the country. And so they feel that it's time for them to go into former ANC strongholds to look at gaining more support. But I think also for the ANC going to the KZN, is to ensure that it will solidify the ongoing support that it has there, so that it doesn't continue to bleed support as it has, and also just following the protests in July, or the uprising in July, just to ensure that it brings calm and it brings some sort of restores confidence in that case in constituency.
I'm interviewing Paul Mashatile, Naledi, at about 7:15 this morning. And I've seen a lot of people from the weekend on social media. Again, I always say the social media is not the voice of the country. It's just a nice litmus test of what people are talking about. Do you think the ANC is winning the fight against corruption, A, and are they getting that messaging across about being anti-corruption? Are people buying it, do you think?
It's very interesting. I don't think that they are. I think that what we're seeing from the ANC is that they're coming out. I mean, the president of the ANC, Cyril Ramaphosa, has said that, during this election period, they acknowledge the lack of service delivery. They acknowledge the unabated corruption. They're acknowledging all of the wrongdoings that they have fully participated in, but they're not, in my opinion, really saying that they're taking responsibility and presenting a course of action on how they will rectify that, right? So I think that while they are saying that it seems as if people are able to see through it, and they know that they are paying lip service, and that's why they are more people are looking at alternatives at this point. And so I don't think that messaging is landing as it should or as it has previously.
For those viewers who may have missed it last night, Sally Baudet, senior anchor here on ENCA on South Africa Tonight, our evening sister show, if you will, had a bit of an election debate. I think they had the ANC, they had the DA, they had ACDP, there were a few others. And I'm talking about Cape Town in particular now, Naledi, and the DA. It doesn't seem to matter what the DA does at the moment. They're getting taken apart because of land and housing. Last question to you. How do you think they're handling that? Can they handle that?
The DA is really in a very precarious position during these elections because they do talk about, even in their campaign messaging, they've talked about service delivery and their track record in governance. But it's because of issues such as the ones that you've just highlighted, issues of affordable basic housing, issues of land, especially also just reflecting on how the city of Cape Town is being run, where they've highlighted good service in other parts of the city, but in areas such as Khayelitsha, it's very underserviced. So even with that messaging where they're trying to say, where they're trying to pull up their track record, it's so easy to take it apart because of how they've also continued to underservice other areas in the city of Cape Town. So unfortunately, again, even with them, their messaging is not landing as it should.
Just in the last minute I have with you, Naledi, your thoughts on the EFF. We're seeing some promises being made around increasing of social grants and free housing, etc. We've got to be careful when we make these sort of promises, don't we? Because this is where political parties get taken apart. What they do is the leaders make the promises, then they leave the councillors and the mayors to deal with the broken promises and the mess. Your take on the EFF and what their promises have been?
I think that the EFF tends to say what people want to hear, and it's now a matter of delivery. Will they be able to deliver on the promises that they've made. And we've also seen in the past few years that the image of the EFF has been tainted with the VBS scandal. So in as much as they're making the promises, I think that there's a lot of drawback from people saying that they don't really trust that the EFF will be able to deliver on those promises, even though, Julius Malema is one of the most charismatic politicians that we have in the country. Even though the message seems to be landing and doing well, I think that there's a lot of questions around their ability to deliver on those promises, and that creates issues of trust for the EFF.
It seems to be the issue of this election, and one could argue all the elections in the last couple of years. It's that about trust and broken promises. Naledi Modise, political analyst, what a pleasure. I'm sure we'll speak again in the build-up to the 1st of November. Here's a reminder.